Hello everyone. Welcome once again to the Beginner to Advanced Excel tutorial by Slidescope. And in this tutorial, we are learning about Introduction to Structured References in Excel. So structured references are a way to refer to table data using table name and column headers instead of traditional cell references like A2, B10 or something like that. They make formulas easy to read, maintain, and understand, especially when working with large or dynamic data sets. So, the key features of structured references are dynamic range, readable names, and no manual adjustments. So, dynamic range means it can automatically adjusts if rows or columns are added to the table. Uses table and column names making formulas more understandable, and no manual adjustments means it removes the need to manually update ranges when data changes. So in case of these type of references, when you apply some kind of formula, sometimes you need to manually update the ranges. But when you are using structured references, in that case you don't have to manually update that. Now, how to create a table? So we will simply see one example. So let's create our Excel file, and in our Excel file, let's paste this data. So here you can see in the data that we have currently, we have region, products, and their sales. It can be a big Excel data also, like data with many columns, as we have seen in previous chapters also. So it can be any data. Now let's save it as chapter reference. So we are saving all these workbooks so that we can provide you in the resource section of the chapters. Now once the data is ready, select the data range and press Ctrl P to insert table. So this is something that we have already done. So just press Ctrl T after selecting and select my table as headers. So it will appear with all filters and with some design. So a structured reference has the format table name, column name. Okay. So for example, table 1 bracket sales refers to all values in sales column of table 1. Table 1 headers sales refer to the header of sales column. So if you want to refer to all values, you will use it like table 1 sales. So this will select one column and basically all values of this column. But if you want to select its header, for example, what is the header name of this, then obviously it will select or refer to the header. So if you will simply copy this formula and go to your Excel file and paste it anywhere, it will generate or it will give you this output that this is some table 1 sales. Okay, what if we create another sheet? In another sheet also, if we enter the formula, it is referring to that table by its name and then selecting the sales column. Similarly, now before going further, you have to understand, let's say we have written profit here also. Okay, and profit is, let's say, 250, 120, 100, or let's say 70 and 56, whatever. Now let's save this. In the next column, if you will write profit instead of sales, just a minute, profit, so it will give you total profit. Okay, sum of table 1 profit. So this is what you can do in order to find the sales and profit sum. In this case, we are not writing range. We are not considering any range, but we are just using the table name and the name of that column. Now, one important thing to remember here is for students that when you have a table, like when we created this table design, so at that time we gave this table a name. So that you have to remember. Whenever you are creating a table, then you have to give it a name. Now let's say I am copying the same table. Let's get rid of everything. So I will copy the table and paste it in another sheet. Okay. Let's say for our reference, I am naming it as John sales and I am naming it as Rohan sales. Let's say we have two employees in our organization, John and Rohan. And John and Rohan have made some sales and profit. So let's say the numbers are little bit different for Rohan. Okay. And so the profit will be. Okay. Now the simple idea is this is John sales, and if we create another third sheet, okay, let's order the third sheet as third sheet, and here what if we copy this and put it here. Okay, so it will give us the value of sales generated by person John. Okay, because we know table 1 is for John and similarly for profit. But what if we have to get it for Rohan also? So if you select it and go to table design, you will see its name is table 15. What if we call it Rohan? Just giving you an example here. Okay. So we are calling this table as Rohan and we will call this table as John. You can name it anything, but for our reference, we are doing this. So this is John and Rohan. Now in our formula, what if we write sum of John sales? Okay, let's see. So now when you will write sum of John sales, make sure you have saved the name. So it will give you this value. Okay, sum of John sales. Similarly here, sum of John profit. This is automatically changed. Okay, and in the third sheet also we can copy this thing. Let's say instead of John, what if we write Rohan here? Okay, so this way, obviously you can change their color and everything. That's what is per the requirement. But the simple thing is, this is showing us John sales, this is showing us Rohan sales, and all this data is from different tables where we are referring them with the name of their tables and the name of their columns, and not referring them by their cell range. Like A2, like in this case C2 to C5. Okay, so this is what this is structure reference does. Now similarly you can use average sales. So you can, if anyone asks you to describe the data, you can describe it easily. Like in this case we have to write is equal to average John sales. Remember whatever name you have given. This is sum of sales. So this is sum of sales, average sales. Obviously this is something that you can position anywhere, and you can find other value like minimum, maximum, other type of aggregate functions, count, you can apply there. Okay, now third point is adding a calculated column. So what if we add a new column to that table, that is discount? Okay, and use a formula with a structured reference, that is equal to sales multiplied by zero point 0.1. Now after creating the table, inside the square brackets, you know that we are writing the name of column. Okay, so let's create a formula discount, and let's say the 0.1% discount is there of sales. Okay, so we will write equal to sales this. So Excel will automatically apply the formula to all rows in the discount column. So what if we apply it here and hit enter? So let's apply. Okay, now it has selected. Make sure when it becomes blue, that means it has selected. And now you can apply the formula. Okay, we can use different color. Yeah. So this way it has applied the formula to all sales, and let's say this is the discount that was given. Okay, you can apply any other formula. I'm just using it. So that means for every sales value 10% discount was given. Okay, let's say in case of Rohan 0.05 or 5% discount was given. Okay, so in this case you can see 5% discount and here, but actually the value we are seeing here is incorrect because the name John is written here. So here we can call it Rohan, or when you are using in this table you can write it like this. Now the 5% discount is applied. So this is one way of, you know, using or creating a calculated column in Excel by applying a formula that will be applied to all the rows, and here we are just referencing the column name with square bracket. We can also use relative references in table. For example, to calculate the final price after discount, okay, we can write sales minus discount. Or suppose sales price, suppose selling price and cost price are given, so then you can calculate profit or anything. So let's create another column here called final price. Okay, and in final price we will simply use the formula. So final price column is created. Now let's copy the formula and put it here. So here you have to remember, when you are applying this formula, make sure that these columns are highlighted. Once highlighted, because I am copying it from different sources, once these are highlighted, then you will see it is applied everywhere. And we can apply the same color or anything to them, that we can do later. So this way a final price is also created. So this is a easier way to refer to column names than by calling them C2, C3, whatever. Okay, it's your choice, whatever you prefer, but this is something that you can try, and that's why structure reference is very easy and important thing. The formula applies to all rows as we saw in the column without needing to copy and paste. So here, even if you apply C1, C2, so you have to copy it everywhere. Okay, this does it automatically. Here are some special structured reference keywords, that is at all. It refers to all table data including headers and totals. Okay, hashtag headers refers only to the header row. Hashtag data refers to all rows of data excluding headers and totals. Okay, and totals refers to the totals row if enabled. So later we will also see how will we enable the header and this type of rows. That's why this is just an introduction, but when the total row is enabled or only header is something that you have to refer, then you can use this. For example, if we copy this formula and say equal to John headers sales. So here we are writing headers comma sales. Okay. So this will give us the header say of sales. Obviously it is sales, but this is a simple way to understand. Even if we take it outside, okay, and enter, sorry, I have referenced it. So here John header sales. What if I write John headers? Okay, so it is giving us profit. Okay, so if you have to learn how to print all header names of a particular table and something, this is something that we are going to learn later with the help of VBA. But this way you will simply understand, and you have to understand these reference keywords, right? You can use it with index formula. Like suppose we don't know the name of that column, so let's say what is the, we are using index John headers 1. In index you write array and the row number 1, we are using the first row, and the column number as A1. Okay, so region, this will give us, okay, the name of first, the name of header in the first row of the table John is region. So if we'll simply copy here, like, okay, obviously we have to copy this, and similarly we have to find something else. Let me paste it properly. Yeah, what if you have to find for B1? Okay, it is also in the same row. This is product. You can write it like A1 B1 C1, and you will be able to find the table name. This simply tells us how references are. Okay, so we will see them later also, but this is a simple uh, introduction to structured reference. What are the benefits of a structured reference? First is the clarity. Descriptive names like table 1 sales are easier to understand than B2 to B10. Flexibility. It automatically adapts to change in table size, as you saw. And efficiency simplifies formula when working with tables. So we have the final table here, and this is what in our case is also created after applying everything. Okay, so this Excel file will be provided as a reference to this video, so that you can go to this Excel file and see the formulas, and for practice you can apply the same formulas on other type of data as well.